Alright, it's Q Radio, it's the Q Mix. I'm Karl, I'm here for a couple of hours playing you some of me songs that I like. These songs off an iPod. I just thought I'd let the iPod choose the music for you. You know, the songs that I like, they're on my iPod, but it's hard to put a list together of songs to play. You always sort of think, oh, is this the best one? Is that better than this one and all that? So I thought, let the iPod pick them, and then, I'll play them, and hopefully you'll like them. Prince is what I started with, Sign of the Times, which is a song that reminds me of working in Cordon Bleu supermarket. I couldn't get into Tesco for some reason, they wouldn't have me. But I managed to get into Cordon Bleu, and it was my job to front the shelves up, so the shelves always looked full. Got fired from there after a couple of different things, the main reason being sort of messing about in the car park and eating some biscuits that were already open, to be honest. The packet was ripped. I thought, well, we can't sell them whilst I'm stacking up, I might as well have a biscuit, give me some energy, I'll get the shelves sort of stacked quicker. But they didn't see it that way. But Prince, Sign of the Times was one of the songs that used to play on the Tannoy system. There was about 8 songs on it that was just on rotation every day, and there was that and Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run. And at the time I couldn't be doing with the songs, I was so sick of hearing them, but now I can sort of appreciate it more, listening to Sign of the Times without worrying about if there's enough beans on the shelf, that sort of thing. It's a good song. Next up is an old one. I'm playing a lot of old songs today, by the way. It's just what I'm into. But if you don't know them, then they'll sort of be new music to you at the end of the day. If you don't know them, it's new music, isn't it? And this is a bloke called Clarence Carter, which I don't know anything else that he's done. I don't even know if this song was a hit, but I heard it somewhere and liked it and managed to get hold of it. And it's about a farmer.
I was born and raised in Alabama on a farm way back up in the woods. I so ragged I tried to do my best.
Q Radio with the Q Mix. I'm Karl, and that's Clarence Carter with Patches, which is, like I said, all about a bloke who dies. He runs a farm, which it's not a business to run anymore, is it? You never really hear about kids saying when they leave school they want to be a farmer. They all want to be on X Factor now, or Big Brother or something. No one ever says they want to be a farmer anymore. And I don't know, maybe it's weird really, because when I went round to a mate's house who's got a couple of kids, I thought I'd read some of the books that they're reading, just to see what kids are into these days. And they had the old MacDonald Had a Farm book, right? So I thought, I'll give that a read, because I haven't read that for years, and I liked it when I was a kid. So maybe, let's see if I still enjoy it. Or if I think, God, this is a rubbish story, I don't know what I ever saw in it. So I read it, and everything was normal until the very end, where it turns out that old MacDonald, his farm business isn't going that well anymore. It's sort of a credit crunch type problem, and he ends up selling the farmland and opening up a caravan park or something. So that's the new version of Old MacDonald Had a Farm, which kids are reading now. He's got a caravan park. So yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Speaking of nursery rhymes, Jack and Jill. Is Ray Parker Jr.'s version of it. Q Radio with the Q Mix. I'm Karl Pilkington, and that's Ray Parker Jr. with Jack and Jill. It's the old nursery rhyme, but he sort of updated it and turned it into a bit of a love story, I suppose, which I don't know if that's right or wrong. I don't know if kids' nursery rhymes should be, being messed about with and updated. You think it's sort of like, singing about Humpty Dumpty having a weight problem. It's sort of taking it to another level, isn't it? But I like it. It's, like I say, it's difficult to pick your favourite songs. So I've just let the iPod sort of select them. These are songs that I have on my iPod, and I just hit shuffle, and see what it comes up with. So yeah, odd choice, but I like it. Joy Division, that's what we got next. This is Atmosphere. Joy Division, Atmosphere on Q Radio, on the Q Mix. Ian Curtis, who was the lead singer, he lived just round the corner from where my girlfriend grew up, and I'm not surprised he was a bit of a depressive, because Macclesfield is I don't know, it is a bit of a grim place. It's like it's never moved on. Everything's quite old-fashioned, and something that first hit me when I first went there to, like, you know, go round to where she was brought up. Fat cats. There's loads of fat cats there. Just the fattest cats you've ever seen. I mean, for an animal that's normally pretty energetic, and, you know, they jump about, don't they, normally, from trees onto walls and run away from dogs and all that. The cats in Macclesfield, they just lie there. They're like them rugs you can get with, like, a bear's head on them. They just lie, taking up the whole pavement. You have to walk round them. And they just sit outside the chippy, eating food that people chuck to them. I don't even think they eat the healthy bit of the fish anymore. They just eat the batter. They leave the fish. They want batter, sausages and chips. You've got cats with heart problems in Macclesfield. So if you're ever passing the area, don't stop. It's Q Radio, it's the Q Mix. I'm here just playing some songs that I like. Next up, Funboy 3. This is Tunnel of Love. Q Radio, it's the Q Mix. I'm Karl Pilkington, and that was Funboy 3 with Tunnel of Love, who I see Terry Hall whenever I get on the train to go back to Manchester. He always seems to be on it, to the point that if I didn't know any better, I'd think he works for Virgin Trains. He always seems to be on it, which I think he goes back to watch Man United play. I think he's a big Man United fan, so I think that's why he's on the train. But I always remember one time I was on there. He'd sort of walk past, you know, with his hot cup of tea like you can get, and a bag of crisps. And some women who were sat behind me said, "Oh, isn't that bloke out of the specials?" And the other one was like, "Yeah, I think it was." And said, "Oh, doesn't he look miserable?" Which I thought, what do you expect? He's Terry Hall. Do you know what I mean? He's not one for sort of being full of beans, is he? If it was Timmy Mallet and he looked like that, I could understand him sort of going, "Oh, look, Timmy Mallet looks miserable." But he's Terry Hall, who's that's what he's like. And he wasn't even that miserable, he just was being normal, really. How happy do you want someone to be when they're stuck on a train with a cup of tea and a packet of crisps? Just found it odd, but I like him, he's good. And that's Tunnel of Love. Q Radio, it's the Q Mix. I'm here for a bit playing your songs that I like. And here's a good one. It's an old one from Slade. It's called How Does It Feel? Q Radio, the Q Mix. I'm Karl Pilkington. I do a thing with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant that you can buy on iTunes. Go and have a listen. Slade, How Does It Feel? And John Barry with the theme from Midnight Cowboy. Never get sick of hearing that. It's an instrumental. There's no words to get sick of. I think that's the problem sometimes. Words can really date a song, can't it? There's that Seahorses track that I heard the other day, and they were singing about Oasis, the shoe shop, and I don't even think they exist anymore. So in years to come, when people hear that, they'll go, what are the Seahorses going on about? Oasis shoe shop, it doesn't exist. So I kind of think words can... That's why classical music probably has hung around for so long. I mean, some of that is really old. If that had words, they'd be singing about rickets and having the plague. But because there's no words on it, you can listen to it any time and you go, "Oh, that sounds good. Who's this? Who's knocked this little number up?" So there's a lesson to be learnt from that. So I'm into me instrumental stuff, and I'll probably play another one before I'm finished here. But for now, I'll play some I Am Klute. This is From Your Favourite Sky. It's Q Radio, it's the Q Mix. I'm Karl Pilkington, just there, just playing you some songs that I like. A bit of rap for you now. Got into rap when I was younger. This is something I had on my Walkman and listened to again and again back in 1988. It's BDP with My Philosophy.
So you're a philosopher?
Yes.
That's Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One, and a track called My Philosophy, which I sort of went through a phase of being into rap because I couldn't play any instruments or anything. I thought, well, I can speak, so all I've got to do to get into rap is learn to speak faster, which has never been a thing that I can do, really. But I'd say I spoke fastest in me sort of rap period. And because I spoke so fast in that period, it's like, I don't know, now I speak slower. It's like I've used up the pace when I was younger. Like a runner, really, who has strong legs when they're younger and they're running about. But when they get older, the legs go, forget it. I did a load of running when you were younger. You used it all up. And that's like my voice. I can only speak at a certain pace now. But I remember I used to try and write my own raps. I used to listen to people like Public Enemy, who had like proper things to sort of moan about. You know what I mean? They knew about politics, and they'd rap about it, about the world's problems and all that. And I'd be trying to sort of match them, but not having the same sort of problems to rap about. I'd be going on about, my ZX81 computer not having a RAM pack. That'd be my big issue. That I'd managed to get into a rap. But it was a phase of my life that I look back on. I think, why was I into that? It was just noise. I do that a lot. I sort of think about me as a kid and think, would that kid have liked me as I am now? Because as I am now, I don't think I would have liked me when I was younger. And especially when I was going through that phase, listening to loud rap. Next up, Placebo, doing a cover of a Pixies track. This is Where Is My Mind. That's Placebo doing a live cover version of the Pixies and Where Is My Mind, which is something, we talk about a lot on the audiobooks, really, that I do with Ricky and Steve. I'm Karl, by the way, if you just sort of put this on, you're thinking, who's this rambling on? I'm Karl Pilkington, and I do a thing with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, like an audio book. We chat about different things. Like I say, we chat about the mind a lot, because I don't know how mine works. It's times when I kind of think it doesn't do its job, when it comes to deciding what to eat. That's when your mind should kick in, and it should say, do you know what you should have? You should have scampi and chips or something. But what tends to happen is my eyes will see something like spaghetti bolognese, and my eyes will go, that looks nice, and then that's it. That's my mind will then go, have that then. So it's like my eyes are doing more work than my mind. Anyway, just I'm sort of thinking out loud here. What we have next? We're talking about food there. Spag bol. From spag bol to a bit of lamb chop. I know nothing about this band, but I like this song. It's called Up With People. It's Q Radio with the Q Mix, and that's lamb chop. Like I say, I know nothing about them, but I quite like the sound of that one. It's called Up With People, and having a bit of a food thing going on here. I was talking about spag bol. We've had a bit of lamb chop. The next song I like, just because it's got a line in it where biscuits get a mention, and biscuits don't really get sung about that often, do they? You've got like loads of love songs. You can't. You'll never run out of songs about love, but not that many songs about biscuits. I think there's a frog gets a mention as well. Listen out for the biscuits and the frog mention. This is Bobby Gentry. It's the Q Mix on Q Radio. I'm Karl Pilkington, just there playing some songs, some of my favourite songs, really, in no particular order, just songs that I had on my iPod and stuff. And that's PJ Proby with Hold Me, who I don't know that much about, but I sort of got a little bit more interested in him when I found out that he lived down the road from me. Or at least I think he did. My mum just pointed him out one day and sort of said that it's PJ Proby, that. And I said, who's that? She said, he's a singer. And apparently he lived above a hairdresser's, just close to the estate that I grew up on. And as time's gone on, I sort of think, was it him? Because my mum's sort of, she sort of tells me a lot of things that most of the time she's wrong. It's like playing Call My Bluff with her. You know, she'll tell me 3 different things, and one of them's true, but I never know which one. And that was one of the things she told me that I kind of think, was it him? Would PJ Proby live above hairdressers? And especially because I've since found out that he used to write for Elvis. And I think, would someone who's wrote, you know, some songs for Elvis really live above a hairdressers in the 1980s? So, you know, I don't know if it was him or not, but because of some fella who my mum thought looked like PJ Proby, that was enough to sort of, for me to have a bit of interest in PJ Proby. And that's a track called Hold Me. Best play something sort of newer. I'm playing a lot of old stuff. What about Pulp? This is Babies. Roy Orbison, Sweet Dreams. Before that was Pulp and Babies. This is Q Radio. It's the Q Mix. I'm Carl. Alright. Just playing you some of my favourite songs. A lot of old stuff, really. And here's another old one. It's an instrumental track. I told you I like them. And this is from a bloke called Bilk. And Bilk, I've since found out, like he plays the clarinet on this. And apparently he lost a finger, which I don't know, sort of makes me wonder if it helped him in a way. I mean, the clarinet, you need your fingers, but I sort of think if he had like 5 fingers, maybe he would have overcomplicated this track. But because he only had 4, he was limited to what he can do, and because of that, it's quite a nice simple sound. So yeah, have a listen. It's called Stranger on the Shore. Nice, that, isn't it? That's called Stranger on the Shore. Bit of music by a bloke called Bilk. Like I say, I don't know if I'm right with the fact about him only having 4 fingers. I don't even know if that's good if you're playing the clarinet. Some people might say, well, you don't need that many fingers to play the clarinet. I don't play an instrument, so I might be bigging him up when he doesn't, need bigging up. But still, I like the track. It's good. Next is this is another one that it's been around for quite a while, but it's been used as a theme tune on a TV programme, which is, it's like a murder type programme. I think as you get older, you get into murder programmes because it sort of wakes the brain up a bit. You know what I mean? When you're a kid, it's like, oh, it's boring. You want to watch the telly for something to laugh at or whatever. But then as you get older, it's like brain training, isn't it? It's like doing a Sudoku. And I started off by watching stuff like Midsomer Murders and Columbo. And, you try and work it out and stuff. And this is the theme tune from CSI New York. It's from The Who. It's called Baba O'Reilly. Adam and the Ants and Dog Eats Dog on Q Radio, on the Q Mix. I'm Carl, here playing you some of my favourite songs, really. Adam Ants, he was good in his day. His thing was having 2 lots of drum kits, I think. That was like, oh, have you seen him? He's got loads of drums. That's what kids talked about at school. That was the big news. Adam Ant, have you seen all the drums he's got? Which I never really got into playing instruments. My dad worked nights. He was like, don't want any of that noise in the house. Plus, I didn't have the room. You hear about kids with pianos and drum kits and that. There's no way I had room for that sort of stuff in my bedroom. So I think that's why I never got into it. Plus, my fingers aren't that good. at playing guitar or piano. It's like I don't know. I think I've got rheumatism in them. Don't know what age that normally kicks in, but they're just not that. My fingers aren't that good at keeping busy, so I've never bothered with instruments. My little finger, I don't know what it's there for. I sort of sometimes watch it to see if it ever helps out in a situation, but it just hangs about. It never does anything. So yeah, that's the funny thing with hands. Simon and Garfunkel, it's another old one. I know I should pick something a bit newer for you, but they're all good. Doesn't matter about age. If you don't know it, at the end of the day, if you don't know any of these songs, then it's new music to you, isn't it? So at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of music out there that you probably don't know about, and I'm bringing it to you. But you'll have heard of Simon and Garfunkel. They're big, but this is a little song of theirs that I like. It's called At the Zoo.
Someone told me it's all happened.
It's Q Radio. It's the Q Mix. I'm Karl Pilkington. Here just for like, I don't know, another 40 odd minutes. Another good song with a story is this one from Kenny Rogers. It's about a war veteran whose legs are sort of done in, and you sort of start off feeling sorry for him, and then by the end you think he's a lunatic. You know, the woman should have left him ages ago. It's called Ruby.
You've painted up your lips and rolled and curled your tinted hair. God's sakes, turn
Great, that, isn't it? Kenny Rogers and Ruby on the Q Mix on Q Radio. It's all about a war veteran whose legs are done in, and I don't know, his girlfriend or wife doesn't like him anymore. No, he hasn't got any legs. Which always reminds me about my trip that I had to San Francisco, because a lot of war veterans are there, and they've all got sort of limbs missing, and they're just going around on skateboards, which I found really odd, really, because if you've got no legs and you're going about on a skateboard, San Francisco isn't a sort of a great place to be, because it's loads of hills. So, you know, if your main sort of mode of transport is a skateboard, make life easy and, you know, live somewhere flat. I just find that really odd. It's Q Radio. It's the Q Mix. Hello, I'm Karl. Karl Pilkington. I do this thing with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant that you can buy from iTunes, where we sort of sit around chatting about stuff. Have a listen to it. You know, you might like it, you might get into it, you might not, but what can you do? You either like it or you don't. Next up is Mamas and Papas, who I got into when I got my first Walkman, and you know, sort of had headphones on, and I noticed how it was all sort of split up, you know, like the music's on one side and the singing's in the other, and I quite like that, because I like to see which one of my ears was the better ear, if you know what I mean. I found that my left ear was quite good at listening to vocals, whereas if I swapped the headphones round, my right ear sometimes wouldn't pick up what they were singing. It's just a good way of keeping a track on, you know, which is your good ear. You know, like people have lazy eyes. If you listen to Mamas and Papas, you'll find out if you've got a lazy ear. And this is one of theirs. It's called Creek Alley. Q Radio with the Q Mix, and that's Malcolm McLaren with Buffalo Girls, which was one of the first songs I heard scratching on, if not the first, in fact, and that sort of got me into trying to do it, but I never really mastered it. I thought I was quite good at it, because I used to have to do it on low volume, because my dad used to work nights. So I used to sort of try scratching, but on low volume, any scratch sounds quite good. And it's not until I went round to a mate's house and had to go on his, that, like, you know, with the volume past like the number 4, and I heard what I was doing, I thought, I'm rubbish at this, really. But yeah, I think that's been the problem that's got in the way of my life quite a lot, thinking about it. Always having to be quiet. I don't know if if anyone listening has had, a family member who works nights, but it affects you in a big way, like I say, listening to music or, having to watch stuff with the volume quieter. Like now people always say to me, oh, you mumble, you talk too quiet, you should be louder, but it's all because my dad worked nights. So I've always sort of just mumbled. It's like, don't talk too loud, you wake your dad up. My mum said that she's learnt to lip read from the amount of years that my dad did nights, and she watched Coronation Street and Emmerdale Farm just by lip reading it because she didn't want the volume too high. But yeah, Buffalo Girls, Malcolm McLaren on Q Radio. I haven't got that many more songs left to play you, really. But I best play something a bit new, or at least just from someone who's still alive would be a start, wouldn't it? Yeahs. And that's about it, really, for me on the Q Mix. I've just got one more track to leave you with, and it's Oasis, Married with Children. So hope you like this, and why not download one of our audiobooks, me, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. You can get them on iTunes. Right, goodbye, I'm going out.
De uitvoerige berichten en beschouwingen heeft ook het Nederlandse volk kunnen vernemen dat de politieke spanningen weer groter zijn geworden.